Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech channel. We are continuing learning JavaScript using FreeCodeCamp platform. So let's navigate directly to the previous challenge where we stopped in previous tutorial. So navigate to this tab here. We stopped in this 111 challenge. So now here in this challenge is telling us that to fight any type of monsters is going to use a similar logic. So that's why we need to create a function to handle this logic for all different type of monsters. So let's declare a new function called goFight. And as you remember, to create a function in JavaScript, we use function keyword and then the function name, parentheses, and curly bracket. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. So in this challenge now is asking us to set flighting to 0 inside flight slim and telling us that also already we declared this flighting variable previously, so we don't need to declare it again using let or const keyword. And 0 will represent basically the first monster inside this array of monsters. So let's do that here. So copy the name of the variable inside this function and assign it to 0 and then semicolon. After this line we need to call goFight function we just created in the previous challenge. And as you remember, to call a function, we'll call the name of the function and then add a parenthesis and a semicolon at the end. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge, similarly to the pattern we did on fight slime function, we can do it for the fight beast and also fight dragon. And also reminding us that index 1 represent beast and index 2 represent the dragon. So let's just update this. Let's copy the same code inside this fight slime function and then add it to the fight beast. Just make the code readable. Instead of 0, this is going to be 1. 1 basically is the second element inside the monsters array, which is going to be beast. And the third one here, we need to remove the console log from the fight dragon and add the same code again here. And instead of 0 is going to be 2, which will be represent the third monster, which is the dragon. And now check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And here now is asking us to create two empty functions. First one called attack and the second one called dodge. Call attack and duplicate the same function. Copy same function and add a new line. Duplicate the function and then change the name of the second one. And check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge now is asking us to add one more location to the location array using the same patterns here and this similarly same properties for this object. Copy and duplicate last object inside location. And the name for the new location is going to be called fight. And then the button text is going to be this 3 text here. Let's just copy this text. Remove and for the button functions we are going to copy these 3 functions and remove and for the text we are going to display this text instead. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. So in this challenge is asking us to call update function inside goFight, and then we need to pass the force argument inside location. So we can use a square bracket to access the force element inside an array using the square bracket after the array name, and then we need to add the index for the force element. The index is going to be 3. Always the index start from 0, and don't forget to add a semicolon at the end. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. Now in this challenge is asking us to update this monster health to equal to the current monster health by calling this monster health variable inside this goFight function equal to monsters array. Then we can access the current monster array by using the monsters array name, then square brackets, then fighting. The fighting will display the current index for the current monster, and this will return an object. So if you go to the monster array here on the top, so If the first one will return this object, if the second one returns the second one. But we need to access health, we need to use dot notation to access the correct health value. So go with the health for after this here at the end at dot then health semicolon. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. So in this challenge now is telling us that the monster status by default is hidden, is not displayed here on this section. So we need to display that when the user go to fight. So inside this function we can update the element of the HTML to be displayed visible instead of hidden. So similarly to this example here, by calling this monster status, this variable already we declared on the top previous tutorials. So this one here. And if you scroll down inside this function, when call go fight, then we'll update the style of the monster status to be visible by adding dot style dot display equal float and add a semicolon at the end. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. So now we need to update the monster name and health. So to do that, we need to update the monster name variable by using the monster name variable dot inner text equal to the current monster name. By accessing following this pattern, the monster array then the current fighting index, and that will return an object. Then we need to use dot notation to access the name of the current monster name. And next we need to do similarly for this monster health text. Monster health text dot inner text, assign it to the current monster, and then instead of dot name dot health. And instead of this, already we're declaring the variable here. So this similar variable, you can use this variable instead. And you can just remove this part and you can use that variable. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. So now this challenge is asking us to update the text using the text variable dot inner text equal to the current monster name. Using this pattern, we need to use concatenation to concat the string with the monster name. We need to add space at the beginning here, and then to access the monster name, we can use monster array, then fighting, then dot name. We need to add a concatenation operator at the end as well, and add a new text. So this part here, attacks, and then dot at the end, add a semicolon. Check your code, and there is an error, so we need to add a space here. Check your code again. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes. And by now this is the end of this tutorial. Thank you for watching and see you on the very next tutorial.